Rita Dove, mother, wife, writer, teacher, and winner of the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. Page 1.
Associate Professor of English at Arizona State University is among the other Pulitzer winners. Rita Dove won the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry. She was at home cleaning her house this afternoon when her department head at ASU called with a very pleasant surprise.
Yes, complete surprise.
ASU President J. Russell Nelson told a news conference how rewarding the Pulitzer is for the university.
In its own way, this event is as exciting as the Rose Bowl.
Thank you. Thank you.
You deserve it.
At a campus dinner tonight, congratulations came from students, faculty, and Dove's husband, who is a native of Germany and himself the author of 4 novels.
Oh, I'm very proud of her, of course, especially because it's happening on my birthday. Couldn't be a better birthday present.
Einmal bitten, uns etwas vorzulesen. Ein Gedicht aus dem Zyklus Thomas und Beulah, und zwar das Gedicht Sunday Greens, Sonntagsgemüse.
Das mache ich gerne. Ich lese das auf Deutsch in der Übersetzung von Karin Graf. Sonntagsgemüse. Sie will Wein fließen hören. Sie will Veränderung schmecken. Sie will, dass Stolz durch die Küche rauscht, bis sie glänzt wie Stroh. Sie will, dass Mageres die Tradition ersetzt. Schinken poltert in den Topf, nichts als Knochen, jeder mit einem Armreif aus Fleisch.
Page 2.
Thomas, the man who came north in 1921, was my grandfather. As lives go, his was ordinary, which means that anything he accomplished would not have appeared in the history books. And yet, his life was special, and he mattered. Writing Thomas and Beulah was an attempt on my part to honor his life, the life of my grandmother, and the lives of all ordinary people who make this world run.
Jiving. Heading north, straw hat cocked on the back of his head, tight curls gleaming with brilliantine, he didn't stop until the nights of Chaw and River Bright had retreated somehow into another's life. He landed in Akron, Ohio, 1921, on the dingy beach of a man-made lake. Since what he'd been through, he was always jiving, gold hoop from the right ear jiggling, and a glass stud, bright blue, in his left. The young ladies saying, "He sure plays that tater bug like the devil," sighing their sighs and dimpling.
It was a thrill coming back to Akron, Ohio after winning the Pulitzer. And to a certain extent, since Thomas and Beulah is a book about Akron and the people who live here, it was doubly wonderful to share that triumph with friends and relatives in a homecoming.
Malcolm hung back, studying them with his gold hawk eyes. When the girls got restless, Thomas talked horses, strolling Jim, who could balance a glass of water on his back and trot the village square without spilling a drop, who put Wartrace on the map and was buried under a stone like a man. They liked that part. He could have gone on to tell them that the Werner admitted Negro children to be intelligent, though briskness clouded over at puberty, bringing indirection and laziness. Instead, he added, You got to be careful with a possum when he's on the ground. He'll turn on his back and play dead till you give up looking. That's what you'd call sullen. Malcolm interrupted to ask, who owned Strolling Jim and who paid for the tombstone? They stared each other down, man to man, before Thomas, as a grandfather, replied, yes, sir, we enjoyed that possum. We ate him real slow with sweet potatoes. Thank you. My grandparents had 4 children, and my mother, Elvira, was the oldest of the 4. And then my mother married my father, Ray Dove, and began to have children of her own. What I remember, what really helped me the most in writing this book was talking to my mother about some of the stories both of my grandparents used to tell her. They were fantastic storytellers, and she really helped me by telling me a lot of their stories.
Oh, I remember so many of the things that Mom used to tell me. And what strikes me most is that Dad seemed so slight of build, and Mother was more like I am, about my height. And Dad was very quiet. And but they loved to talk about the days when they were courting.
When we were married, Elvira was quite attractive. In fact, I think she made a beautiful bride. But more importantly, she became a lovely wife and also an excellent mother to our children. Tom was our firstborn. Rita, our first daughter, was about 2 years younger. Even while very young, well, not quite this young, she was an avid reader and liked to write. As a proud father, I always had my camera ready. We encouraged reading. Rita and Tom, being about the same age, naturally played together, and as they got older, ran around together. Then came Robin and Rhonda. They were a little more abandoned in their activities. Like all children, they had birthdays. Rita's first poem of record was written when she was in the 6th grade. It was a humorous poem about a rabbit.
The rabbit with the droopy ear. Mr. Rabbit was big and brown, but he always wore a frown. He was sad even though Easter was here, because he had one droopy ear. They were the handsomest ears in town, except one went up and one drooped down. And to think Easter was almost here, alas for the rabbit with the droopy ear. The rabbit went to wise old owl and told his tale twixt wail and howl. The owl tilted his head better to hear and said, I know the cure for your droopy ear. The next day, everyone gathered round to see the incident at the old oak tree. The rabbit was hanging upside down from a branch on the tree, and gone was his frown. Hip, hip, hooray, let's toast him a cup, for now both ears were hanging up. All the animals raised a cheer, hooray for the rabbit with the 2 straight ears.